NEMT Expert Talks. I'm here with my man, Evan Chambers. He sells insurance to NEMT providers. Evan is with Byars, Wright. Evan, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Nirav. How are you?
Rocking and rolling.
I'm Evan Chambers, Byars, Wright. We work with NEMT operators around the country. I'm based in Birmingham, Alabama, but we have clients in California, Oregon, Florida, and everywhere in between. And the number one question I get is, how do we reduce our cost? And just like everything in life, it's kind of simple. And the number one response and answer is reduce your claims, right? So that's the really short answer to all this, but I made a list of things that underwriters always question us and they want to see in the underwriting file that I thought would be helpful to all of you when looking at your business. And a lot of these things take time, it takes effort, sometimes it takes money, but the good operators, the ones that don't have claims, are the ones that get the best rates out there in the market. So you got to concentrate on what you can do to improve your underwriting profile, is what we call it, to the underwriters out there, all the insurance underwriters. So I made a list here. The number one thing, and again, is claims, but how do we get that down? First and foremost, let's start with driver hiring. When trying to fulfill spots, it starts with driver hiring. So are you doing pre-hiring screening, drug test, requiring MVRs? Now, if an individual or a potential driver goes to the DMV and runs his own MVR, her MVR, that's only $2. So it's not a lot of cost. Now, if you as a business owner has to run it themselves, this can be $10 to $20. So requiring an individual to spend $2 to potentially get hired, to me, is not that big of an investment. But running MVRs is very crucial. Doing that shows the underwriter that you care who you're putting behind the wheel. So on all the questionnaires that you guys have to answer, checking run MVRs before hiring is very critical. Do they have driving experience? And I know that's a kind of a weird question, but how long have they had the license? How old are they? Do they have any experience driving NEMT? If not, that's okay. Background check, reference checks. Now, reference check, is not extremely crucial, but background check is, right? Because you guys are transporting individuals that are, can't, defend themselves or whatnot. So we don't want to put a driver in the car with someone who's going to take advantage of them, right? So driver hiring practices, get that in line. The next one is driver training, right? So once they're hired, they pass all the MVRs, the background check, all the drug tests. How are we training our drivers? If you're just throwing them in the car once they're hired, you're just asking for them to have a claim. And, so what are we doing to train our drivers? This is where a little money may come in, certainly time and effort, but is there a written test involved? Is there a road test involved? Are you training them on securing the wheelchair and or stretcher? Defensive driving courses, those can be done online. They can be done in person. For the operators out there who are doing stretcher or gurney transports, are we training our drivers to proper lifting techniques? This really ties into work comp. So the operators out there that are providing work comp for their drivers, proper lifting techniques is extremely crucial. It'll eliminate back and shoulder injuries. The best way to ramp up your work comp premium is to have a ton of injuries. So for the stretcher operators out there, proper lifting techniques is obviously critical. Emergency procedures, what happens if there is an emergency during a transport? All these things need to be trained and taught to your drivers in case that worst case scenario does happen. Now, this is comes with a big price tag. We all know about the cameras, but every underwriter asks, are there cameras in the units, pointing inward and outward? So this is, if you've been in this business for a long time, you're going to get a frivolous claim. Oh, your driver did this, your driver didn't do that, or whatever. This eliminates those personal injury attorneys who are looking for a quick buck to serve you guys with a quick lawsuit. And if you don't have a camera pointing outside or inside to make that go away, insurance companies sometimes they just look at it and from a dollar standpoint and say, well, it's cheaper to pay a little money to make this go away than to defend this in court. So cameras are extremely important. Telematics, right? Telematics is really crucial. It tracks your driver's driving, hard braking, acceleration, claims, heavy turns, all those type driving characteristics, and it scores them. There's all different types of options out there and programs out there. But it's a way to, okay, if you get a scorecard weekly, monthly, you can take your bottom performing drivers, retrain them so that they can hopefully move up. It's just a way to hopefully catch a claim before it happens. The next one is company policy and procedures. That's kind of generic and high level, but for instance, I talk to a lot of clients, and if you're doing transports for nursing homes, for instance, I know a lot of those patients come out and you don't know how they're have been secured in their wheelchair. A lot of times those nursing homes will put in a pillow underneath the client to make them more comfortable to transport to the hospital or to the doctor's appointment. And we all know what pillows do underneath clients during the transport. So, giving your drivers empowerment to say, hey, we're not moving until, the pillow is taken out or whatever. We also all know about those patients who are not comfortable during the transport, and they'll loosen up their belts or restraining belts or whatever it is. Again, empowering your drivers to stop the vehicle and tell them to tighten back up, and we can't move forward until you do so. I know it's time. I know it can be tough out there for your drivers to do so, but training them to have that empowerment to do that, because inevitably that person who does that, they don't have the trunk support to support them. They're going to slide out of the chair during the transport. You're going to have a claim on your hands, and these claims are not cheap. And then last but not least, retraining. And it goes back into the telematics. If someone does have an over-the-road accident or securement issue with the patient, retrain them. And everyone needs retraining. We have a saying in our agency: you have to inspect what you expect. And that's why I tell clients. So if there's ever a driver who needs some retraining, take them out of the lineup, put them back through the course, do whatever you need to do. Everyone needs to relearn, and maybe refresh every now and then. So so that's 5 points again to get the claims down. And I was telling Nirav, cameras in the implementing cameras, I know it's expensive, and there's not a discount percentage out there from every insurance company that they're going to give you. It's all going to be factored into the underwriting. But at the end of the day, you can have cameras, you can have telematics, you can have the best training and hiring procedures out there. But if you have claims year over year, your rates are going to just steadily go up. You're going to get non-renewed, and it's going to be a hassle and frustration. So try to do all these things to lower those claims, prevent them from happening before they happen, and then get with the right insurance company to achieve those better rates. So Rob, that's all I have. I hope it's quick. I hope it's helpful. Be glad to help and talk with anyone else who needs help in this area, as I know it can be expensive, but that's all I got.
That was awesome, Evan. I didn't have to ask you anything.
Good, because that's all I know.
If anyone has any questions for Evan, email us at contact@bambi.health.
Run, Bambi, run. Let's go.
Awesome. Thanks, Evan.